In the heart of East Asia lies a nation shrouded in mystery, a land where time seems to stand still, governed by a man whose name echoes across the globe, Kim Jong Un. His story is not just the tale of a single leader, but the saga of a dynasty that has ruled North Korea with an iron grip for over 7 decades. This is a journey through the life of Kim Jong Un, from his secretive childhood to his rise as the supreme leader of one of the world's most isolated nations. We'll uncover the secrets of his regime, the strategies that keep his power intact, the punishments that enforce his rule, and the shocking facts that define North Korea's civilization under his command. Let's step into the shadows of the Hermit Kingdom and begin at the very start in the early 1980s, when a boy destined to rule was born. Chapter 1: A Hidden Heir, 1983 to 1998. On January 8, 1983, or perhaps 1984, North Korean records are deliberately vague. A child was born in Pyongyang, the capital of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. His name was Kim Jong Un, the third son of Kim Jong Il, North Korea's second supreme leader, and his consort Ko Young-hui, a former dancer born in Japan. The Kim family was no ordinary lineage. They were the architects of a nation founded by Kim Jong Un's grandfather, Kim Il-sung, revered as the eternal president. From the moment of his birth, Kim Jong Un was cloaked in secrecy, raised in a world of privilege behind the walls of Pyongyang's elite compounds. His early years unfolded in sprawling mansions, complete with private cinemas, basketball courts, and even a personal amusement park, all shielded from the famine-ravaged reality of North Korea in the 1990s. Kim Jong-un's childhood was a paradox of luxury and isolation. While millions of North Koreans faced starvation during the arduous March famine, which claimed up to 3 million lives between 1994 and 1998, young Kim was insulated from hardship. His mother, Ko Young-hui, ensured he was groomed with a sense of destiny, steeped in the ideology of Juche, North Korea's philosophy of self-reliance. Stories circulated, carefully crafted by state propagandists, that Kim was a prodigy, learning to drive at age 3 and mastering complex military strategies as a toddler. These tales, though exaggerated, were part of the Kim dynasty's myth-making machine, designed to elevate their heirs to godlike status. By the late 1980s, Kim Jong-un was being prepared for a life unlike any other. He was not just a child, but a potential successor in a dynasty where power was absolute. His father, Kim Jong-il, was a reclusive figure, obsessed with cinema and military might, ruling a nation still reeling from the Korean War's division of the peninsula. Kim Jong-un grew up in the shadow of this legacy, surrounded by bodyguards, tutors, and a carefully curated world that reinforced his family's divine right to rule. But to understand the man he would become, we must look beyond North Korea's borders to an unexpected place, Switzerland. Chapter 2: A Western Education, 1998 to 2000. In 1998, a teenage boy arrived in Bern, Switzerland, under the alias Pak Un. He was enrolled at the Liebefeld-Steinhölzli School, a public institution where he blended in, almost. This boy was Kim Jong-un, sent abroad by his father to study in a world far removed from Pyongyang's propaganda. For 2 years, he lived a double life, attending classes alongside Swiss teenagers, speaking German, and indulging his love for basketball, particularly the NBA. Classmates later recalled a quiet, reserved student who kept to himself but was fiercely competitive on the court, idolizing stars like Michael Jordan. Kim's time in Switzerland was formative. He saw a world of freedom and prosperity, a stark contrast to North Korea's rigid control. He dined at local pizzerias, played video games, and even visited Disneyland Paris, experiences that gave him a glimpse of life beyond the Hermit Kingdom. Yet, he was never alone. North Korean minders watched his every move, ensuring he remained loyal to the regime. In 2000, at around 16, Kim returned to Pyongyang. His Western education abruptly ended. He enrolled at Kim Il-sung Military University, where his training shifted from algebra and German to military tactics and political indoctrination. The boy who once cheered for the Chicago Bulls was now being molded into a leader of a nuclear-armed state. Chapter 3: The Grooming of a Successor, 2000 to 2011. Back in North Korea, Kim Jong Un's path to power began to take shape. His father, Kim Jong Il, was grooming him as a potential successor, though the choice was not immediately clear. Kim Jong Il had 3 sons: Kim Jong Nam, the eldest, born to a different mother; Kim Jong Chul, deemed too effeminate by his father; and Kim Jong Un, the youngest but increasingly favored. In 2009, rumors surfaced that Kim Jong Un was the chosen heir. He was appointed to the National Defense Commission, a powerful body, and given the rank of 4-star general in 2010, despite having no military experience. This move signaled to North Korea's elites that the young Kim was being positioned for leadership. During this period, Kim Jong Un accompanied his father on on-the-spot guidance tours, a tradition where Kim leaders visited factories, farms, and military bases to demonstrate their omnipotence. These carefully staged appearances were broadcast across state media, showing a confident young man standing beside his father, absorbing the intricacies of ruling a totalitarian state. But behind the scenes, North Korea was struggling. The economy was stagnant, reliant on illicit trade and foreign aid, while the military consumed vast resources. Kim Jong Un was learning to navigate this delicate balance, absorbing his father's military-first policy, known as Songun, which prioritized the armed forces above all else. In December 2011, the course of Kim Jong Un's life changed forever. Kim Jong-il suffered heart attack and died at age 69 or 70. Records, again, are murky. State television announced the news with tearful broadcasters, declaring Kim Jong-un the great successor. At just 27 or 28, he inherited a nation of 25 million people, a nuclear weapons program, and a legacy of repression. The world watched, uncertain whether this young, untested leader could maintain control of one of the most secretive regimes on Earth. Chapter 4: Consolidating Power, 2011 to 2013. Kim Jong-un's first years as supreme leader were a masterclass in ruthlessness. He faced immediate challenges: a skeptical military elite, a faltering economy, and international scrutiny over North Korea's nuclear ambitions. To secure his rule, he moved swiftly to eliminate potential rivals. In December 2013, he ordered the execution of his uncle, Jang Song-pak, a powerful figure who had served as a regent after Kim Jong-il's death. Jang was accused of treason and anti-party activities, labeled human scum in state media. Reports, though unverified, claimed he was executed by anti-aircraft guns, a brutal spectacle meant to send a message. No one was above Kim Jong-un. This purge was part of a broader campaign. Between 2011 and 2016, Kim is believed to have ordered the execution or demotion of scores of senior officials, consolidating power within the Workers' Party of Korea, WPK. Unlike his father, who relied heavily on the military, Kim shifted influence to the party, strengthening its role as the backbone of his regime. In May 2016, he convened the 7th Congress of the WPK, the first since 1980, where he was named chairman, cementing his authority. The Congress also saw constitutional changes, replacing the National Defense Commission with the State Affairs Commission, with Kim as its head, reducing the military's dominance. Kim's early rule was marked by bold displays of power. In November 2012, satellite images revealed a massive propaganda message carved into a hillside in Rangyang province. "Long live General Kim Jong Un, the shining sun." This half-kilometer-long declaration was a testament to the cult of personality that Kim inherited and expanded. Every North Korean was expected to revere him, with portraits of Kim and his forebears adorning homes and public spaces. Failure to display or maintain these images could result in severe punishment, including imprisonment in brutal labor camps. Chapter 5. The Nuclear Gambit, 2013 to 2017. While consolidating power at home, Kim Jong Un turned his attention to North Korea's nuclear program, a cornerstone of the regime's survival strategy. His father had conducted 2 nuclear tests in 2006 and 2009, but Kim accelerated the pace. In February 2013, North Korea conducted its 3rd nuclear test, the first under Kim's rule, defying international sanctions. By 2021, the regime had tested nearly 120 missiles, 4 times more than during his father's and grandfather's reigns combined. By 2023, that number reached 226, including the Hwasong-12, capable of striking U.S. territory in Guam. Kim's nuclear ambitions were rooted in a belief that a nuclear arsenal was the ultimate deterrent against foreign invasion. In 2012, during a speech marking the 100th anniversary of Kim Il-sung's birth, he declared that the days of enemies blackmailing us with nuclear bombs were over. This rhetoric escalated in 2022 when North Korea passed a law authorizing automatic nuclear strikes if its leadership or command systems were threatened. Analysts estimate North Korea possessed 45 to 55 nuclear warheads by 2022, a stockpile Kim viewed as his regime's insurance policy. The nuclear program came at a steep cost. International sanctions crippled North Korea's economy, limiting access to foreign currency and technology. Yet Kim pressed forward, diverting resources from a population where malnutrition remained widespread. His strategy was clear. Nuclear strength projected power abroad and reinforced his image at home as a leader who could stand up to the United States and its allies. Chapter 6. A Brutal System of Control, 2011 to present. To maintain his grip on power, Kim Jong Un enforced a system of absolute control rooted in fear and surveillance. North Korea's secret police, the Ministry of State Security (MSS), monitored citizens at every level. Neighborhood watch units known as Inminban reported suspicious behavior, while the government maintained a Songbun system, categorizing citizens by loyalty to the regime. Those deemed disloyal faced imprisonment, forced labor, or execution. Human Rights Watch reported in 2023 that North Korea held up to 200,000 political prisoners in camps where torture, starvation, and forced labor were routine. Punishments were severe and public. Defectors have described executions for crimes as minor as stealing food or watching South Korean dramas. In 2021, the New York Times reported that at least 7 people were executed for distributing K-pop videos, which Kim labeled a vicious cancer. The 2023 Pyongyang Cultural Language Protection Act aimed to eradicate South Korean linguistic influences, with violators facing arrest or worse. These measures reflected Kim's fear of cultural infiltration, as smuggled USB drives and smartphones brought glimpses of the outside world to North Korean youth. Kim's regime also relied on propaganda to maintain loyalty. State media portrayed him as a benevolent leader, inspecting factories, schools, and military bases with an all-knowing smile. Documentaries like 2021, A Great Victorious Year, showcased his leadership during crises such as Typhoon Maysak in 2020, when he toured devastated areas and ordered harsh punishments for officials who failed to prepare. Every aspect of North Korean life was choreographed to reinforce the Kim dynasty's divine narrative. Chapter 7. Economic Reforms in Construction. Boom, 2012 to present. Despite the repression, Kim Jong Un introduced cautious economic reforms, known as the May 30th measures, to improve living standards. These policies, enacted in 2014, granted enterprises more autonomy, encouraged domestic manufacturing, and promoted international trade. North Korea's economy, described as a flexible collectivist system, saw modest growth, particularly in Pyongyang. The capital underwent a construction boom, with colorful high-rise apartments, amusement parks, and a ski resort transforming the cityscape. These projects, often built with forced labor, were designed to project progress and attract tourism, though access was limited to elites and foreigners. The rise of the Donju, or money masters, marked a shift in North Korea's economy. These wealthy entrepreneurs, often connected to the regime, profited from black markets that emerged during the 1990s famine. Kim tolerated their activities, allowing agricultural collectives to sell surplus crops and easing restrictions on private trade. Yet the benefits were uneven. While Pyongyang's elites enjoyed new luxuries, rural areas remained impoverished, with electricity shortages and food insecurity persisting. Kim's reforms were a balancing act. He sought modernization without loosening political control, wary of the destabilizing effects of economic freedom. The influx of South Korean media, smuggled via China, posed a growing threat as young North Koreans adopted foreign fashion and slang. Kim responded with crackdowns, but the allure of the outside world continued to erode his propaganda's grip. Chapter 8: International Maneuvers and Diplomacy, 2017 to 2020. Kim Jong Un's foreign policy was a high-stakes game of brinkmanship and diplomacy. In 2017, tensions with the United States peaked as President Donald Trump threatened fire and fury in response to North Korea's missile tests. Kim fired back, launching missiles over Japan and testing a hydrogen bomb. Yet in 2018, he shifted gears, embarking on a diplomatic offensive. He met South Korean President Moon Jae-in at the Demilitarized Zone, a historic summit that led to the Panmunjom Declaration, pledging peace and denuclearization talks. That same year, Kim met Trump in Singapore, the first ever summit between a U.S. president and a North Korean leader. Kim played the role of statesman, charming the world with his smiles and promises of dialogue. A second summit in Hanoi in 2019 collapsed over disagreements on sanctions relief, but Kim's global profile soared. He also met Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin, leveraging North Korea's nuclear leverage to secure economic concessions. These summits were strategic. Kim sought to ease sanctions while preserving his nuclear arsenal, buying time for his regime. Meanwhile, he maintained tense relations with China, North Korea's historical ally, wary of Beijing's influence. His diplomacy was a calculated dance, projecting strength while navigating isolation. Chapter 9: Shocking Incidents and Family Secrets, 2017 to present. Kim Jong Un's rule has been punctuated by shocking events, none more infamous than the 2017 assassination of his half-brother, Kim Jong Nam, at Kuala Lumpur International Airport. Kim Jong Nam, once considered potential successor, had lived in exile, occasionally criticizing the regime. On February 13, 2017, two women smeared his face with VX nerve agent, a chemical weapon, killing him within hours. The women, later arrested, claimed that they were tricked into believing it was a prank, but evidence pointed to North Korean agents. The assassination underscored Kim's willingness to eliminate threats, even family members. Another figure in Kim's inner circle was his sister, Kim Yo-jong, who emerged as a key advisor. In 2020, amid rumors of Kim's ill health, she was given partial authority over foreign policy, positioning her as a potential successor. The Kim family's dynamics were opaque, but loyalty was paramount, and any perceived betrayal was met with swift retribution. Chapter 10: Challenges and Resilience, 2020 to present. The 2020s brought new challenges. The COVID-19 pandemic prompted Kim to seal North Korea's borders, exacerbating economic hardship. He admitted to food shortages in 2021, a rare acknowledgement of failure, and his sudden weight loss sparked speculation about his health. Yet Kim persevered, overseeing missile tests and infrastructure projects while maintaining his cult of personality. In 2023, he celebrated the 75th anniversary of North Korea's founding with a grand military parade, showcasing the Hwasong-18, a solid-fuel intercontinental ballistic missile. Kim's personal life remained guarded. He married Ri Sol-ju in 2009, and they reportedly have at least one child, born around 2010. Ri, a former singer, became a public face of the regime, accompanying Kim at events. Their family life, like much of North Korea, was shrouded in mystery, with state media controlling every narrative. As of now, Kim Jong Un remains a paradox, a leader who modernizes while repressing, who courts diplomacy while brandishing nukes. His regime has survived sanctions, isolation, and internal dissent, sustained by a system of fear, propaganda, and strategic cunning. North Korea's civilization under Kim is a blend of Orwellian control and cautious reform, a nation where skyscrapers rise amid labor camps, and a leader's smile masks a ruthless will to survive. Kim Jong Un's story is far from over. At 40s, he continues to shape North Korea's destiny, balancing the weight of his dynasty's legacy with the pressures of a changing world. His rule is a testament to the endurance of absolute power, built on secrets, strategies, and sacrifices. From the glittering towers of Pyongyang to the hidden horrors of political prisons, his North Korea is a land of contradictions, a civilization forged in the image of one man. As we leave the Hermit Kingdom, we're left with questions. How long can Kim's regime defy the odds? And what will his legacy mean for the millions who call North Korea home? The answers lie in the shadows, where Kim Jong Un reigns supreme.